What have I learned from trading since I started? Well, a lot of things. So just to give you some background for the people who are new here, my name is Santiago Valencia. I started trading when I was 15. Right now I'm 21, so it's been about 6 years. And overall, I've actually been trading pretty much a little bit more than 20,000 hours doing options, doing stocks, just in general, the whole sense of trading. And what have I learned from that? Well, quite a bit of things. Now, the reason why I was able to dedicate 20,000 hours is because when I was 15, I don't have a huge amount of obligations with rents, jobs, none of this stuff. I was able to dedicate all my time into it, which I still have the chance to do into that because I was able to do it early on. One, focus on the long term. When I started trading, I actually started trading doing options, and at first, one of the main reasons why I dedicated a full amount of time is because I was very confident that I was going to make a lot of money. I did not believe in the sense where I would get a lot of that money in a short period of time, like very, very short. But like everyone else who joins, I did believe that I would make a lot of money right when I started. And I would say that isn't the case all the time, no matter even if you're learning from someone, which I didn't. I did actually learn from someone when I was starting. That's what I was able to get at such a young age, but I didn't get results immediately. And I think that's why it's important to just see the long term. What really brought me more into trading was the fact of how much scalable it is. If you get something that's scalable, that's long term by that. So that's what you should look for. Try to find things that are scalable in trading, that by that nature, you know you can do the long term. Because it's all about how much are you dedicating your time and how much you're getting out. That's all you should care about. It's all about, if you put the most amount of energy into this could give you more potentiality with more results. And if that's the case, definitely do it. Because it's not about getting a predefined risk of this amount and then you get only a gain of this amount. The risk reward by itself doesn't enormously matter if the return is high. So whether that's dedicating a lot of time into one thing, that's perfectly fine, and you should have the mindset of doing it in the long term, because just 1,000 hours is not enough. 2,000 hours is not enough. In my case, I've been doing it for 20,000 hours, and I don't have the huge amount of experience compared to a person like Ray Dalio who has 5 decades of experience, which is another level. But in my case, I know that this is still the very long term, and the fact of seeing it like that from the scalability issues, I was able to get good results doing that. So I would say have a long-term bias. Second, do everything. I know. Like, here's the thing. What I mean by doing everything is do everything as much as possible to proceed better to success. That's been my rule for a long time, and that was a huge majority of the reason why I progressed so much in not even trading, to anything that I do, is the fact of, if a person tells you that you're supposed to do one thing, or you thought to yourself that you need to do this method, okay, that's cool, but do everything, do everything as much as possible to just get better, progress and do better into what you're doing. Because look, if you can reduce your time into getting the goals that you want to do right now, one of the ways to do that is to just do everything, whether it's to read, whether it's to do this, whether it's to do that. Do everything. And that's why, if you're gonna do that, you have to be very sure that you're going to do this. That's why it goes by this chronological order. Find something that you just see that's scalable, and look, if you see that something's scalable, you would dedicate all your time because you see the amount of rewards that you did. That's what I did. That's why I'm in the stock market, because the stock market has one of the biggest and best reward systems that's in a predictable base. I'm not like the lottery, none of that shit. But I'm just talking about as a business standpoint, it's the best return capital asset that there is. When crises come in the stock market, it makes a lot of people rich because during crisis in the market, there's a lot of mispricing for very valuable assets. And when you find a very valuable asset that's mispriced, that's very beaten down from an irrational reason that doesn't justify its intrinsic value, or it doesn't justify for the valuation that that business can produce, then you can buy those stocks, or you can buy that asset when you're very clear how much it's worth. So as time passes on, in a short period of time, those businesses will increase. That's exactly what happened in COVID. A lot of businesses that I saw, like Nvidia, Adobe, ASML, Google, these type of companies, Tesla, a lot of them grew immensely in value because they were mispriced. But look, these mispricings and these opportunities of like you buying this, you getting rich, none of that stuff comes in if you don't put the energy. But you only put the energy if you have the right risk to reward system. What I mean by risk to reward is not the sense of like how much you're losing, how much you're winning. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about specifically for trading. I'm just saying that the risk is a sense of time is more valuable than money. So how much are you dedicating to your time to one activity? And if that activity can give you immense amount of value, immense amount of rewards that no other activities can do, then it makes sense to dedicate a lot of your time and a lot of your resources into that. That's what I mean by risk to reward. The risk in sense doesn't make sense, which is funny, that kind of rhymes, but the risk in points does not make sense if the rewards are extremely high. So just look at it from a long-term perspective and dedicate all your time and do everything as much as possible to progress. Learn from someone, read books, watch hundreds of videos. I've watched 400 videos of Warren Buffett when I was 16. I've watched 100 videos from Charlie Munger. I've watched 70 videos from Ray Dalio. I've watched countless of videos of Lee Lu, of Joe Greenblatt, of Bill Fisher, of Peter Lynch, of John C. Bogle, a bunch of different investors. I've learned from traders like Wyckoff and many others too. And from this basis, I was only able to do that if I saw that this stuff was scalable. So it's like anything, you're incentivized to do it. But that's why you need to have a very independent thinking. That's where we come to 3, where you need to have a thinking out of the masses. You need to think differently from other people. You cannot get an extreme result or an extraordinary result if you're not an extraordinary person. In order to be extraordinary, you need to think unconventionally. I tend to have a thing where if something's going to take you X amount of time, let's say you have to solve a problem, and that problem will take about, let's say 3 months or 6 months. That's way too much time. I cut that back by like 60%. So if something's gonna take me about 3 months, I think, okay, how can I do this in like a week or in 2 weeks? And that could be starting a business, that could be listing everything. But in order to get that short amount of time, you have to do everything. You have to devote all your energy. So look, it's either go big or go not. That's the way how I do it. When I choose to do something, and I tell this to, I recommend you to do this. Do things unconventionally. You have to think differently from other people. You're going to get better results. You're going to track different results too. And you're just going to have such a different back work that many people are going to value immensely because you're doing something unconventionally. And the market system, that's the thing that I will tell you. The market system rewards that sort of behavior immensely. In economic terms, people who help others, like doctors or physicians, don't benefit with the market system because it doesn't benefit the market. But when you have an unconventional way of thinking to provide value to other people and masses, the market will pay you immensely. The market will pay you now billions, like billions of dollars if you do that. That's why I'm in stocks.